Afternoon, everybody.
Oh, no! How's life treating you, Norm?
He caught me in bed with his wife.
All right, give it to me.
The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Return of the Mac.
Once again.
Of the Mac.
Oh, my Lord.
You lied to me.
Classic song. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. For those you bullying, your host Leroy, aka It's a Dog Eat Dog World, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear with my co-host.
This is Eli, aka the People's Strudel.
There you go. That sounds weird, but we're gonna roll with that. Also, shout out to the third co-host, the Doombot, the AI.
All hail the Doombots.
All hail the Doombot. We are back with another episode, so we're gonna jump into it. We are here. We thought we were gonna have a lazy show today. We actually got a bunch of show, too much show, extra girthy show for you
that we will lazily go through.
Yeah, just go through as fast as possible. Yeah. So before we jump into it, let's kind of jump into it because we got so much stuff to do. So first thing I want to do, like I said, you saw the intro. I want to say rest in peace to George Wendt.
Yes.
Now, the reason I want to say that, Eli, because growing up, I was a huge Cheers fan. Here's the thing. By me, Eli, I was a huge sitcom fan.
Well, everybody was. 90s. Everybody knew Cheers was. If you were from the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, from with Cheers, Cheers didn't go off the air because ratings went down. They just ended it. They're like, we're done. That's it. Yeah. And the ratings kept going up as the show went on. So yeah. So everybody knows who Norm was. Norm on the show was like one of the funniest characters on the show. In hindsight, looking back at it, he probably was an alcoholic, but we thought the shit was funny back then. So
yeah. Well, you made fun. It was the 80s. You made fun of everything.
Yeah, you make fun of everything.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So yeah, the fact that he's neglecting his wife and is sitting in the bar drinking all this like that, he's probably cheating on stuff like that. Yeah, it was funny. That's all.
And that's what we all aspired to. We all wanted to walk into an establishment and everybody would yell out our name.
Exactly.
Norm. Like everybody knew. Yeah, Norm. Like the song says.
Your name was Norm. You caught hell. Anyway, you walked to the road. That's what it was. So yeah,
that was the theme song. Everybody knows your name or whatever.
Do right.
Yeah.
Also, going a little bit deeper into it, George Wendt is also the uncle of Jason Sudeikis. For those who don't know, that is the star. Well, Wendt eventually became the star of Ted Lasso.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah. So the thing was, that's how he got. For those who don't know about Jason Sudeikis, he basically got famous from Saturday Night Live. He got on Saturday Night Live because of George Wendt. George Wendt had enough pull at NBC. He's able to get him on there. So yes, so Ted Lasso is a nepo baby. If you go
okay.
There. Yeah. So another Easter egg on Ted Lasso, that on one of the scenes, there was a scene where he had George Wendt's picture on there, Norm from Cheers, in the background of one of the scenes, like a little Easter egg, So that's pretty cool. So give a shout out shout out to family. So rest in peace to George Wendt. Hold on, let me see what we got here.
Yeah, good dirty time, sir.
Should have read this before I clicked it. You entered the studio. You
earned a sub.
Oh, you earned a sub. Okay. I really appreciate you. I'm so scared of clicking links because I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm glad you did that. So that being said, we're going to move to the next part of the podcast. And like I said, we had an easy breezy, lazy podcast. We're going to do until I guess about a few hours ago, Eli. We got news.
Yeah,
news. So that we got to talk about it. Like I said, this is a comic podcast, so we have to address this.
Big news, yes. This is a big one.
Rest in peace to Peter David. Like I said, now I know we got to talk about this because it's a comic podcast, and I know a lot of y'all don't know any comic creators past Stan Lee. That's all you know. But the thing is, there are many comic book creators that have given you all of your entertainment that Hollywood has pretty much stole from them and gave them no money for. All that stuff came from them. So and he is definitely one of them. So shout out to Peter David. Also, we also want to give a shout out to Eli.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, okay. Eli. I stalked your page. You can't hide from us, Eli. So Eli took a picture with Peter David at a Comic-Con one time. Can you give us some details on this one? Or
yeah, he was at a con, and I brought my Hulk 340, the infamous Wolverine claws with the Hulk's reflection. Yes.
The one that Ryan Reynolds homage in Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, where Chris Rick said it was from the John Byrne run of. No, it wasn't from the John Byrne run. It was from the Peter David run of Incredible Hulk, and it wasn't from. Yeah, so he completely got that wrong. But you know what? We don't care because Ryan Reynolds. We don't expect Ryan Reynolds to be comic accurate.
Peter David and Todd McFarlane was the artist.
Exactly. Not John Byrne, Todd McFarlane,
Yeah. So, and he signed, you could see he signed my car. He signed that, that cover, and yeah, nice guy, and yeah, like you said, he was, his Hulk run was epic. like I
said, we've been saying it for long. We've been having like the Immortal Hulk run. People said that. Planet Hulk runs. Like we've been naming a whole bunch of Hulk runs like that. And I've always said in this podcast that, in my opinion, Peter David's run was the best Hulk run. That's just me. So
he created a lot of like the whole multiple personality and Mr. Fix-It. And,
we'll come back to that, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean he and back to that Hulk 340.
Professor Hulk.
Yeah, Professor Maestro and
Maestro. For those who don't know who Joe Fix-It is, Joe Fix-It is basically it's Gangster Hulk, if that makes any sense.
When Hulk turned gray back in the 80s, we're gonna go deep. Fuck it, we might as well. We're here.
It's coming podcast, so just go deep. So
at some point,
let me set you up because I already know where you're going with it. So Eli, what was Hulk's original color in the comics?
Well, he was supposed to be gray back in, like, Stan Lee wanted him to be gray, but I guess there was a problem with the printing and he turned green and they just left him as green, as what I understand.
Well, what happened was when they had him gray, because of the color that was in it, it bled through the other side of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, gray didn't work. So so they had to make him a more solid color. And that's why they went with green, but that's why they wanted to. But then Peter David took it all the way back to why they made him gray to begin with. And that's where Joe Fix-It and Gray Hulk and all that stuff came from. And then you got this epic cover right here where you got Gray Hulk versus Green Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all in Banner's mind. Yeah. So on the outside, like Banner was just whooping his own ass.
Yeah.
It was a crazy ass comic, man.
Yeah. Peter David introduced the cerebral side of the Hulk, the psychological.
Well, he was
Bruce Banner was
with Doc Samson and
Bruce Banner had been abused by his father, all that stuff. And Doc Samson, like I said, back to that epic before Peter David took over the book, Doc Samson had separated the Hulk and Bruce Banner. Mm-hmm. But then the Hulk went on a big rampage and all the Marvel superheroes tried to stop him. He was kicking everybody's ass.
Banner to
turn into Banner. So in order to control the Hulk, they put the Hulk back into Banner, and that turned him gray. Mm-hmm. So that was the introduction of the Gray Hulk. And then Peter David took over the book, and then he turned the Gray Hulk into Mr. Fix-It, Joe Fix-It. Yeah, Gangster Hulk, who was a little not as powerful as Green Hulk, but a little bit more intelligent than Green Hulk.
And he fights a little dirtier. He was fun. He was fun.
Yeah. And back to that.
Yeah.
That
basically
epic,
the personality is like, so you got Green Hulk. Green Hulk represents the child of Bruce Banner, because he couldn't act out when his dad was abusing his mom. He held it all in. So basically Green Hulk is just him acting out. So that's why he has the mind of a 4-year-old. Meanwhile,
total rage. Yeah.
Total rage. Meanwhile, Gray Hulk represents Banner in his college years, when he was too busy in the books to actually like wild out and be a party and stuff like that. So he was there. So basically Gray Hulk is what he wish he was then, which is why he's older, smarter, more crass, more immature, but
Yeah.
So all these are like aspects of Banner's personality. So
yeah. And also the healing factor. I discovered that Hulk had a healing factor similar to Wolverine, because in that book 340, when Wolverine and Hulk fought each other, Wolverine like straight up stabbed, like punched through the Hulk's chest, like impaled him, and Hulk survived. I mean, he was incapacitated for a bit, but his chest closed back up, and it was revealed he had a healing factor. And that was like mind blowing when I was 12 years old or whenever the fuck I read it, like he introduced a lot of aspects of the Hulk that, became just signatures of the character, so.
Yeah. Like I said, we talk about Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, and then Maestro was a great villain, which Marvel, I don't even know if they even can use him because of the Hulk right stuff like that. But if they could, they would have used Maestro by now already. Like I said, basically, he's Injustice Hulk before Injustice was a thing.
Yeah.
So that's basically
Didn't
what he
we?
is.
And then back during COVID, we reviewed Future Imperfect as a.
And that's how I knew. But yeah, we reviewed it. It got great views, still getting them stuff like that. And that's what I realized. Because I'm thinking in my head, like, I love Peter David's run so much. Maybe it was just because I was looking through a child's eyes more like that. But when we read the Future Imperfect, like, no, this shit still holds up.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
and then he came back and did the Maestro book a few years ago.
Let's
talk
about
which
Star
was
Wars.
which was good.
Yeah, we can't. We banned it. Sorry.
Last week. You should have been here last week.
and the week before last week.
And the week before.
But it's banned now, so sorry. Yeah, so like I said, it's all that. But like I said, we could talk about the Hulk run all day, everything he did with that Hulk run. You really need to read it because, like I said, people keep praising Sandman and Swamp Thing and high heaven, like, oh, this is great intellectual reading. You need to read this. This is literature. I was reading Peter Davis run back then. Honestly, Eli, I put it on that same level. Sandman, Swamp Thing. I read all those books, and they were great books. I'm not knocking those books for all, but I'm saying Peter Davis Hulk run needs to be put in that same category. Y'all put all these other great literature books back then like that, because I understand a lot of this stuff was like in Vertigo and DC and Marvel really wasn't doing stuff like that. Peter Davis doing something different with this Hulk book. Like it, he, like I said, he went cerebral with it. He went deep with it. You know,
he kind of had free reign on the character. Yeah, I mean, it was like over a decade that he wrote the book.
200 issues. Like most people don't get 200 issues of anything. He just did 200 issues of Hulk. That's it.
How many months is that? I suck at math, but yeah,
years?
That's a month.
Like that's several years, maybe the decade. I don't know. That was a long ass time.
yeah, over a decade. I'm pretty sure that's
over a decade. Yeah, that's he just Hulk. That's it. Meanwhile, that was the only thing he was doing. He was doing other books at Marvel. That's why I wanted to talk about that also. Like I said, we could talk about Miguel O'Hara. Everybody loves Mexican Spider-Man from the Spider-Verse. He made them. So yeah. And the Spider-Man 2099. So yeah, where everybody complained about not my Miles Morales and Black Spider-Man, everybody losing their shit over there. Guess what? 20 years before that, we had a Mexican Spider-Man. And nobody complained. Everybody loved him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck everybody can bitch about now, but this thing like that. But let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Not only did he do Miguel O'Hara, like I said, everybody loves Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Yeah, they was like everybody thought when it first came out that like that's a weird choice to be Aquaman. Why ain't he playing this person? Why ain't he playing the person? Then when they saw him, they're like, oh, it makes sense. Well, the thing is, Peter David did that shit back in the 90s. He gave you barbarian warrior Aquaman back then when he was like a badass and shit like that. So the moment
Rockstar Aquaman,
Rockstar. So the moment they cast Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I knew where they were going with it. You're gonna do that version. Basically, what he said he was making Conan underwater. That's what he was doing. So, and it made sense. So yeah, Aquaman was a badass, beating everybody ass, shit like that. So that's cool. What are the runs we got here? I think we got another run. I didn't read Supergirl. I didn't read it, but people love it. People swear by it. It's one of the longest Supergirl runs they ever made. It wasn't even about Supergirl. It was about a girl that thought she was Supergirl, and really she was an alien or some shit.
Okay,
real weird, trippy book, but it worked. Whatever the fuck he was doing. The Supergirl movie coming out next year is gonna have nothing to do with that. It don't matter. I'm just bringing it up. That's all. What else we got? Oh, another one. Let's see if it's this one. Yep, Young Justice. Now, Young Justice, the cartoon is I think is one of the best animated things that DC has ever done. At least the first two episodes, first two seasons. After that, the shit goes off the rail. The first two, great, fantastic. Guess who was writing that show? Peter David. And he was adapting episodes from the cartoon. I mean, from the comic he wrote Young Justice, because he wrote it, he invented it, it's all this shit like that. So they were he was basically adapting his own episodes, and that shit was great. It was awesome. I was like, damn. He got recognition from that because he was writing those episodes. And then we can talk about comics all day, but the thing is, a lot of people know him just from the Star Trek novels.
I was about to say he was really into Star Trek.
Apparently he wrote more Star Trek novels than anybody else in history.
Okay,
and there's certain people that only know him from that, and all the other shit you just named, they don't even know him from that. They just know him just from this. That's it. He's the Star Trek guy, So like I said, very prolific. It's another one. It's another book I got on here also. Let's see if I can find it. Boom, X Factor. He also X
X-Factor.
Factor. Yeah,
Yep.
just
That's who that. Yeah, back to that Hulk 340. That's who he was. It was like a few issues. That was like a whole arc where Hulk was what X Factor. Yeah, like they were
because he was
crossing.
writing.
Yeah,
Doc Samson was hopping back and forth between both books. He was writing both of them.
yeah, like they were making appearances in each other's books and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because you write both of them. Because the thing is, like there was a comic, and anybody that read the X Factor comic know exactly what I'm talking about. When X Factor went to therapy with Doc Samson, and Quicksilver was there, and Doc Samson asked him, like, Quicksilver, why are you such an asshole? And Quicksilver told him the answer he gave was so brilliant. He was like, the reason I'm an asshole, man, because I move in super speed. Everything for me, I perceive in super speed. So talking to you and everybody on my team and everybody in public, I have to slow myself down. It's like being in line in a movie theater and I'm just stuck there and can't go anywhere. That shit frustrates me. That shit pisses me off. And that's why I'm such an asshole. Because I feel like I have to talk slow to you to get on your level. And I was like, damn, that's fucking deep. And he did that shit with everybody on the team. Everybody on the team had some personal deep shit. She's like, oh shit, that's why y'all so fucked up. You know. Let's see. What else we got here? Now Tom Cruise needs to join Marvel. He was going to, but I think they cut him because he was doing one of the Iron Man. I mean, one of the Mission Impossible movies. So I think he was going to be Superior Iron Man or some shit, maybe, or maybe still be. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, do we have anything else to talk about with Peter David or?
He just said he was great, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is, we knew last year that Peter David was having health issues. We knew this was coming.
He's had a GoFundMe for a while for help him out with medical
Marvel
bills.
was even donating some of his older books, like for basically he was writing so much, like even when he got sick, he still had books like ready to go. So Marvel was just putting out. They were like, anything that happens, we're gonna just donate it to to his hospital fund.
Yeah. So good journey, kind sir.
Good journey, kind sir. Like I said, one of the ghosts, man. He got me into comics, made me like, okay, comics can be about something. They can, not just punchy bitch. No, you gotta sit there and read this shit because there's some deep shit going on and stuff. With the Hulk, that's what I keep telling people. Hulk is one of the deepest, most cerebral characters in comics, and people don't get that.
Yeah.
That you want to smash shit. You're like, come on, man. No, read this shit, man. But anyway. We're moving to the next part of the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, we're gonna talk about the thumbnail. People see the thumbnail and they already started chiming into it. So before we get into it, Eli, I want you to give it to me. What is the box office? What is the number one movie of the week?
Is it Mission Impossible?
No.
No shit, really?
It's not. I'm gonna show you what it was. Lilo and Stitch,
a Disney movie. Okay,
ran the fuck away with it. And why the fuck did you drop Mission Impossible? Damn it, Tom Cruise! Why you doing this shit again? Here's the thing. Okay, so we got to back some again. Now, when I went to the theater, Eli, I didn't know Lilo and Stitch was out, but when I got there, I realized it was out because it was nothing but kids in the theater. I'm thinking like, it's Mission Impossible. Anybody see this shit? I'm just walking into my shit. Kids were every fucking where, man. Sneezing, coughing all through the line, shit like that. Like I was getting COVID flashbacks and shit. I'm like, And then some kid in the back, man, kept slapping me on my ass, like in line.
Okay.
So then I'm like, okay, before I turn around, let me see how big his dad is, because this shit might go left. Let me put my scatter on first. Let's see what's going on. So kids were everywhere. You had Lilo and Stitch stuff all over the place like that. So it was a big weekend. But the thing is, this almost reminded me of what happened to Tom Cruise on the last Mission Impossible, because the last Mission Impossible flopped because it dropped a week before Barbenheimer. Nobody gave a fuck about Mission Impossible because everybody wanted to see Barbie. They wanted to go to Barbie and see Oppenheimer. That was it. So people forgot that Mission Impossible was even out. So that crushed that movie. And that's why they changed that movie's name. Well, this movie's name from Dead Reckoning Part 2 to Final Reckoning, because Tom Cruise, you keep releasing these movies. When this shit comes out, when Lilo and Stitch comes out, you ain't making no more. So this probably gonna be the last Mission Impossible movie, I'm thinking. I doubt they make another one. So yeah. So that's why they call it that. So let's talk about this movie. What do I think about Mission Impossible? Let me put a little thing up in the background. Boop. Okay. As you get to, let's talk about it. Okay, so Eli, like I said, I'm more than likely it's probably the last Mission Impossible movie that will ever be released because they can't sustain the budget for these movies with the returns they're getting. You know, even though it's probably the highest grossing one, it ain't gonna make us money back. I'm letting you know that right now. It's not. But crazy shit happened in this movie. I do let you know this movie is 3 hours long. Well, yeah, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes long if you want to round it up and stuff like that. Here's the thing: I didn't feel the runtime. I thought the movie moved at a good pace, but the problem with this movie is that the first hour is just exposition. They just throwing shit at you. Just Angela Bassett showing up, just saying, "Okay, here what you got to do here, here what you got to do there, blah blah blah," all stuff like that. Like, okay, cool, but remember, this is Mission Impossible. We don't care about the plot. Why y'all giving us all this shit and this bloopity blop and gibbity blop and all this shit like that? But they got to do that shit so you can feel the weight of what's going on. Because, like I say, this is probably the last Mission Impossible they have. So I ain't gonna say it's my favorite movie, but it's like the biggest, grandest, go hard, go home movie they made so far. It's basically the closest Mission Impossible got to Endgame. So because they try to basically retcon everything where everything and every movie led to this point. They reference everything except one movie, Mission Impossible 2. So,
oh really? Sandy Newton didn't show up.
No, so I'm knocking the movie a point because they tried to erase Mission Impossible 2 from the canon. You can't do that. I love that movie. I don't care what anybody says. So sorry, I'm knocking you for that.
Did Emilio Estevez show up?
He's dead. He died like it don't matter. I get it. No, he didn't show up in this movie. But
what about Hawkeye?
No, he didn't show up either, which is weird. He didn't show up either.
Okay, well then that's all I know because I haven't seen all the movies.
So yeah,
I think that's the last one I saw, the one where he was in.
Yeah, so you would think he would show up, but he didn't show up. But like I said, they reference those movies. Like, remember you did this mission, you did this mission, and this mission. It all because it goes down to this mission. Like, oh,
it's all connected.
Yeah, it's supposed to blow your mind and shit like that. Oh, people that he killed, that kids show up, stuff like that. Because the movie's like 30 years in, you killed my daddy 30 years ago. He like, who are you again? You know, so now they chasing after him and shit. You know, it's all you got lore now with these movies where you didn't give a shit about the plot. Now you got lore to know.
Legacy.
Yeah,
Legacy
it ain't super important, but you kind of gotta know it or whatever like that. You know, whatever. So that's the first hour. The first hour you get all this shit just dumped on you, something like that. Then the second hour kind of turns into this pseudo psychological horror movie. Kind of. It's different from a Mission Impossible movie. Like, okay, the scene is like longer. So that's the thing. The action scene, there's not a whole lot of action scenes in this movie. Like you expect in a Mission Impossible. Like a Mission Impossible movie, you expect, okay, beat action scene, boom, boom, action scene, boom, action scene. It ain't like that in this movie. It's really 2 action scenes in this movie. And that's it. But the 2 action scenes, they give you your money's worth.
They're like 45 minutes a piece.
Yes, they're long as fuck, but they're worth it, you know, because the Mission Impossible movies are different because basically the plot don't really matter. The plot is just about how did they get to this point to do this action scene. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. So that second action scene, when it gets there, it's long as shit. But when you get there and they finally start ramping up shit like that, you're like, damn, it almost feels like Alien. Like, damn, is Tom Cruise trying to rip off Alien with this shit? So I don't know, but it was tense. It was like dramatic like that. Because the thing is, like, I don't know how much green screen they get, but the thing is, Tom Cruise crazy ass actually went down there and did that shit. He did it. You just like, okay, this motherfucker's crazy. That's that scene. The other scene, I got it. This scene, that shit when he was like hanging off an airplane. It wasn't green screen. They showed it behind the scene. He did that shit for real. Now, yeah, they got ropes on him and shit like that, but it's like, this motherfucker is crazy. Like, they need to stop me. Like, you ain't worried about what, you know, his last movie. You ain't worried about it. Ethan Hunt is going to survive. You worried about it. Tom Cruise is going to survive. Like, after that shit, I had to Google to make sure he showed up at the premiere and he was there. It's like he ain't dead or some shit, you know, because ain't no fucking way. I think the only reason he did that shit because they couldn't find a stuntman crazy enough to do that shit. You're like, I ain't hanging off no fucking plane upside down while it's rotating.
I wonder what his insurance rates were.
Yeah, I think they said they shot that scene first in case he dies. You know, just get that shit out the way first. You know,
because that's like a problem with Jackie Chan. When Jackie Chan came over to the States and started making movies in America, he had a hard time getting insured because he was doing all his own stuff.
Right, and he get fucked up. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, okay, see, Tom Cruise fucked up Justice League. I'm gonna explain.
Yeah. I know.
People that don't know what the fuck happened. Okay, and Mission Impossible 5, the Fallout, which is my favorite of the series, he did when something got fucked up. But Henry Cavill was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So since he got fucked up, they had to stop shooting the movie for him to heal up so he could finish the movie. Meanwhile, they had a clause in Henry Cavill's contract saying he couldn't shave his mustache.
Yep.
So he had to shoot Justice League with that mustache. Even though Warner Brothers said, look, man, we'll even pay for it. Like, we'll pay for the CGI in your movie if you let him shave his mustache. Like, no, fuck your movie. He can't shave his mustache. So they had to CGI his mustache out of the movie. That's why that movie is so fucked up, because of Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, what was I talking about? So the second to, like I said, the third act, balls to the wall action, all the shit like that. The second act is different, but I dug it. I dug the vibe of what they were going for. I don't know if everybody gonna feel it, but I dug the vibe of it. So overall, entertaining, awesome movie. I like it. A lot of shit going on in that one. Let's see. We got some people in here. Your girl, Haley Atwell's in it. Here's the thing. She fine as fuck in the movie. She's so fine. She wore a tank top and brought Tom Cruise back from the dead.
Peggy Carter. That's
Peggy Carter. You know that Captain America said "fuck y'all" and went back in time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in this movie, her wearing a tank top, brought Tom Cruise back from the dead. That was a plot point in the movie.
How old is Tom Cruise now? Ain't he like in his 70s?
He's a grandpa doing this shit, but I can't complain because you can tell he has way more energy than I do. So I feel bad about this shit. But yeah, grandpa, sit your ass down somewhere, man. Jumping off planes and shit, now, like I said, Eli, we are the BIPOC bullies, so I do have to address this. This guy from that show that I don't watch, Ben Stiller makes it, but all I know is that he's from Jackson State. That's all I know.
I don't know who that is either.
What's the name of that show? I don't know. I was gonna do my research, Eli, but I didn't do my research. It's a show that's on Apple Plus that starts with an S. That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't have Apple Plus. I only have Apple Plus like when the shitty Godzilla movies or show.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this show that's on Apple Plus that everybody goes crazy over that he's on right now. He's from Jackson State. He was awesome in this movie. That's all I can say. Great. I can see he's on a trajectory. If he's awesome in this playing against Tom Cruise and he's on that show on Apple Plus that I don't watch that everybody loves, gotta be awesome. So yeah. Also, her. I don't know who she is. She's an Inuit actress because they got a mission in the North Pole. So she's there and she like does shit to like save Tom Cruise's life and some shit like that. So for the rest of the movie, she's just there with them.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it, like at the end of the movie when they like gotta fight the bad guys like that, everybody like loading up guns and like that. Okay, we gotta kick these guys. You do this, and Tom Cruise passing out guns to Haley Atwell and everybody shit like that. She's there. Like,
did she get a gun?
No.
Damn it.
No, she didn't get a gun. But she's there. Like, why are you there? Why are you even here? But she's there. Just there. It's like she just joins the team just cause.
Just talk shit in the background.
She can't speak English.
Crazy ass white man.
Right. But I don't know. But the crowd loved her. The crowd was just cheering. So anytime she did shit, the crowd was just cheering. So I don't remember her name. She was just, I don't know. I just liked her. I don't know. It got to the end. I like Tom Cruise. You better not let her die. I know that. I don't give a fuck about anybody else in the movie. You better not let her die. She lives. She's cool. And she gets a happy ending. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, cool. There you go.
Yeah. So otherwise, like I said, this is a 3-hour movie. You have to watch the movie before this movie because it goes right into this movie. So it's basically Infinity War Endgame type deal. That's what's going on right here. Plus, you need to familiarize yourself with the other movies other than Mission Impossible 2. Because it all ties together. Everything that happened in other movies, even the shit you didn't think was going to happen, like Mission Impossible 3, the plot was he had to get a thing that they never told him what the thing was. So in this movie, they tell him what the thing was. Like, oh no, I was working for the bad guy the whole time. He didn't know, whatever. Fuck. So yeah,
the mythology.
Yeah, you got to know all this shit, but you don't know how to know all this shit. It's weird. You got to know, but you don't got to know it. What the point is. So, yeah. Anyway, go watch it because Tom Cruise, crazy motherfucker. He is acting his ass off. He's he walks the line between badass and bumbling idiot in these movies. So it's like funny and that's cool. So yeah, overall, I'm gonna give the movie 4 out of 5. I like it. I enjoyed it. It's probably gonna be the last one. And the funny thing about the Mission Impossible movies is that it's weird. They're different. They're different from any other franchise. Like every other movie franchise out there, fans have their favorite. Like you talk about Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, boom, everybody loves that. Talk about Terminator 2, Aliens. We know Harry. I'm pretty sure Harry Potter's got one. I don't watch this shit. But with Mission Impossible, everybody, if you say somebody's favorite Mission Impossible movie, they all got a different one. Like yours is different from mine. So shit. And if I talk to somebody else, theirs is different from that one. So yeah. So it's an interesting franchise that people love. Some people's favorite is 2. It is what it is. That's James Bond, but yeah, James Bond. Everybody's favorite is Christina Royale. So yeah, so weird. But let me see. Let's see if somebody. Hold up. Let me see. Catching it live. Feel cool. Yeah, we are live. We are live right now. So yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
So I'm done. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna let Eli take over the show.
Hear me yawn for the rest of the hour.
Because Eli saw a thing. He saw a thing, so we're gonna talk about that for a second. So
I did watch a thing, yes.
Yeah. Not a thing. Let's bam.
Yes, I watched the new Fear Street movie on Netflix.
So enthusiastic about it.
Prom Queen. Yes, Fear Street. For those who don't know, Fear Street was a horror trilogy based on R.L. Stine's books, which I loved. I thought the Fear Street trilogy was dope. I love that shit. They're modern classics to me. I had so much fun. So I was very excited for this new movie. When I heard they're making another Fear Street movie, I was so stoked. Like, hell yeah. And then the lead up to this movie, they were doing all these posters, the ad campaign, where they were doing tributes to old slasher movies and stuff. So I was really excited, really hyped. I waited till 2 a.m. Thursday night.
Damn, okay.
To watch, because how they it's coming out on Friday, but basically at 2 a.m. or whatever time it was, in the middle of the night, I waited to watch that.
Damn, okay.
So yeah, I was super stoked to see this, and I watched it, and I was a little let down.
Damn, I hate that for you, Eli.
And it's weird. It's really weird. Like, I feel like I should like this movie because it's all there. It's all there. It's got solid kills. Mm-hmm. Gore is there. It's gory. It's got really cool creative kills. The cool setting, 80s setting. Cool soundtrack. It's shot very well. It just felt so kind of bland, though. Like paint by numbers, cliche, like made on an assembly line, very homogenized and watered down. It just felt kind of empty, which is weird because I love slasher movies. Mm-hmm. Like I've forgiven the shittiest, trashiest B movie, campy, schlocky movies for less. You know what I mean? Like I love the Friday the 13th movies, and they're all trash, but I love them. Even when you got the ones that are considered pretty good. Then there's the ones that are just total shit. I like the ones that are total shit. Like I love Jason X. I love Part 5. Which people
Jason
hate.
X is real cinema. There will be no hate on Jason X on this podcast.
We can do a whole podcast on Jason X.
Yeah, we probably will one day, but yes.
But that's what I'm saying is I like shitty horror movies, and this movie feels like it had a budget behind it. It was like, you know what I mean? It felt like it was a step above like total schlock. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, it just felt kind of meh. And I don't know why. Is it because I was so excited for it? Maybe my expectations were so high because I love the original Fear Street trilogy, And here's the thing. The Fear Street trilogy, that was a throwback to 80s and 90s slashers. You know, that was paint by numbers. That was very formalic and, you know, kind of predictable, but it also felt fresh. It felt like it was bringing
and you
something new
love
to the
those
genre.
because you broke each trilogy down, like each part of the trilogy down.
Yes, it felt like it was doing something new. It was doing something fresh. It was doing something with the slasher genre as far as like having them be like a supernatural element, like them being cursed and stuff, you know. So yeah, I felt like it expanded the slasher genre.
Was
Where
it
this
soulless? That's
yeah,
most Netflix stuff to me, but
it just felt very like, yeah, very cliche, like very cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Very stock. You know, the characters, I didn't give two shits about any of the characters. I mean, that's the thing. It's so Prom Queen, it takes place in the same universe as the Fear Street movies, Shady Side, the high school. You have your outcast character, you know, and her nerdy friend, you know, and then you have the shitty group of mean girls, the popular clique of high school, you know, that act shitty to the outcasts and stuff. That all that's there. And then there's a prom, and then someone's going around killing all the chicks that are nominated for prom queen. And you know, like I said, it's all there. Like I should like it. That, you know, there's cool kills, there's cool gore. You know, the atmosphere is fine. It's just it just felt very kind of bland. Yeah, I don't know.
did you look up
So,
the director? Was it the same director as the other Fear Street movies?
no, it was a different director.
There you go. That's the problem. Now, what
You
about
know,
the other three Fear Street, or did they have the same director?
yeah, that was all directed by the same woman.
There you go.
And
That's the problem.
and they all kind of, each chapter was like a nod to the era. Like the first one was in the 90s, so it was very much like Scream, you know. And then you had the 78, which was like your Jason golden age of 70s, 80s slashers, you know. And then 1666 was just bonkers.
Right.
That had the supernatural element, and then it brought that had the Night of the Living slashers, like where all the slashers attacked, you know. That was awesome, you know. Like I said, like it felt something new and fresh, you know, with that original trilogy. And this just felt very, you know, very homogenized, you know, very standard, very stock, you know. And so it just feels weird. Like I feel like, well, there's some cool kills and there's some cool gore, you know, and I've liked slasher movies just for kills, you know.
Right.
So it's like I should like this more than I do. It's really weird. I don't know. Maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe I was expecting more. I don't know. You know, because like I said, I love the dumbest fucking slashers. Like I love Doom Asylum. You know, fucking the Sleepaway Camp movies. Like, you know, you know, I like the dumb, like Cheerleader Camp and Graduation Day, like some of the dumbest shit ever. I love.
Right. And
So
then
like,
you will write think pieces on these movies also.
yeah.
See, Sleepaway Camp was really about.
Yeah. That, I mean, nowadays Sleepaway Camp gets like, you know, as far as like the, you know, looking through the trans lens, like that's really getting brought back. That might be a little problematic now.
Right.
But
it's canceled.
but yeah, I mean, there's that element to slasher movies where it like takes a look at the Americana, like suburban America, you know, and how the seedy underbelly. There's always a dark facade, a darkness to these perfectly idyllic small towns. You know, there's always something fucked up going on underneath, which is like a commentary on American culture or whatever. You know, so yeah, there is a deeper element to slashers, you know, that people tend to overlook. And I feel like even that's there too, because you have like the classism, you have like the popular crowd, you know, fucking with the outcasts. You know, there's like, the rich kids, you know, spoiled, privileged rich kids, you know, getting away with shit, you know. There's that commentary there. So even in that sense, that's there. That like, again, I should like this. It just felt a little Felt a little bland. Felt a little tasteless. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Like and I've been looking at the comments, and
Do you
people are
think
like,
maybe you
"Yeah,
shouldn't have watched it at 2:00 in the morning?
maybe."
I'm
Like I
just
said,
saying.
I think I'm wondering if I was too hyped for it.
Yeah.
Like, I was too excited, and maybe horror is in now. Horror is kind of popular these days. Ever
Well,
since
horror movies, the only movies making money.
yeah, but like lately,
Everybody loved Thunderbolt. That shit's flopping.
but like lately, like I feel like because of Terrifier and Barbarian and the Return of the Halloween movies and It and like
all those
horror
movies were profitable, right?
yeah, horror movies have been like you know what I mean? And they're kind of popular right now. We're like in this horror renaissance. And we're getting these big budgeted horror movies, horror with the like Nosferatu,
like Sinners.
you got Sinners, you have The Substance, a splatter flick being nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. So like horror is the Pearl trilogy, X and Pearl, and like horror. We're like in this horror renaissance, and I don't know. Maybe it's getting formalic again. Maybe like the MCU. It's starting to plateau. I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, maybe I was too hyped for it. Maybe I was too excited. My expectations were too high. I don't know. I just kind of felt a little let down. I don't know. So I don't know. Like, do I want to watch it again? Maybe, I'm like tempted. Does it suck? Should I watch it again? But I've done that before. Like, maybe I should give it another look.
Any frame of reference, because plenty of times you come on here, Eli, say this shit trash, and everybody else loves it, like Alien Romulus.
Oh yeah.
It's like, huh? But I got no frame of reference on Fear Street. So whatever you say on Fear Street is the only thing I know about Fear Street.
But I've seen, like I said, I've read some of the comments, and it seems to be divisive. People are like, "Oh, it's cool. Like, I liked it," and then other people are like, "This is so lame. Like, it's fucking, it's so predictable," and kind of like basically saying what I'm saying. Yeah. So I don't know. Some people like it. Some people are like trashing it. I'm not going to say it sucks.
Right.
But
all you can do is just give your opinion. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I just felt like it. I think my expectations are just too high. Because I did love the first three, and this just felt a little cookie cutter, a little paint by numbers, very predictable characters. That's the thing, is like the original trilogy, I cared about those characters. When certain characters died, I was like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like, I was invested in those characters. This one, I couldn't care less. I didn't give a shit about any of them. Even the people I didn't like, okay, that person sucks. I can't wait for them to die. And when they did die, I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. Because that's like part of the appeal of watching a slasher movie. They create these douchebag characters you can't stand, and then you laugh when they get killed.
Right.
In this, they died. They were getting decapitated and killed in very creative ways, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I was too stoked, too hyped up, because I was really hyped up for it. I made a TikTok video and everything, leading up to it. Like I said, the campaign, the ad campaign for this, with the posters and the tribute to old slasher movies, I was really excited. So yeah, maybe that's why I felt so let down by it. So I don't know. I'll give it a 3 out of 5, and that's being nice.
Okay. Sorry you were let down by it. Like, you just hear all the enthusiasm just leave your body when you just talk.
Yeah, like I was hoping it was gonna be cool, and I was gonna go into the lore.
Yeah, you're gonna give us the deep dive and think pieces on Fear Street.
All the different slashers and the origins of all the killers and the curse of the town. And I was gonna go deep balls deep into that shit, and now I'm like, I don't even care.
Damn, hate for that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Then we can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay, so we're still kind of, well, we're not really in horror. We're not. But we're in the video game section. We're in the video game section right now. We're going to talk about the season finale of season 2 of The Last of Us.
Oh, it's over already, huh?
It's done. It's already gone. It's already done.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I felt like how many episodes was it? 3?
No, maybe like 8, I guess.
Wow, that went by quick, man.
Yeah. They went by quick. So The Last of Us went by quick. Basically, what do I think? But this season was divisive also. So like you talk about history, a lot of the fans divided on it, mainly because, like I said, the shocking thing that happened this season for people that didn't play the video game, they killed off Pedro Pascal. Done. He's out of it. Yeah.
In like episode 1 or 2 or some shit.
Like 2. And not just they beat him to death. Like the whole episode was him getting beat to death. So it was like traumatic for everybody, So pretty much the whole season is her, the girl Ellie grieving over him, but also seeking revenge. And you can see the more she's doing it, she's like losing herself and going across the line. It's almost like her villain origin story. That's what it's going to. So that's what's going on right now. Now, the season after this, they're setting up season 3. They're setting up that, okay, the whole that season is going to be about Pedro Pascal's killer. So meanwhile, while the girl has been hunting her the whole season, now we're going to see it from her point of view. And I'll be honest with you, that sounds very controversial. I know for a fact in the video game, that's when a lot of people stop playing the video game, when you started controlling her. Like, I don't give a shit about her. I want to kill her. I don't want to move around her. So now we're supposed to empathize with her, even though we saw her beat a man to death for an hour, but see why she did it from her point of view and see how she's this and that. Now, like, she's really the hero of the story. But I don't know how that's going to work. Like I said, I didn't play the game, so I don't know how that's going to unfold. I'm curious. I'm not jumping off the train yet. I know some people have jumped off the train. Some people saying this show has jumped the shark. Some people saying they don't want to follow Ellie because they don't like her in general, or the actress, or the character, or anything like that. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm still invested in the story, but I'll see how I go. But I don't know. This is a big swing they're going to take next season if I'm supposed to follow this chick that I already don't like, and that's supposed to make me like her. So
she sounds like a Negan.
Is that what they did with Negan? Okay, like
Negan, Negan came in and pissed everybody off, even in the comics. Like Negan just came in and just shook the world, and he was like the big bad for a long time, and then all of a sudden he started like helping out. And I mean, as far as I know, I haven't watched Walking Dead in forever, but like he's still alive. Well, he actually, I guess he survived the comics. I stopped watching the show once the comics end. And from what I understand, he survived. But like there's shows he's got his own spin-off shows, from what I understand. So
okay, so he became a fan favorite. I mean, the fans liked and stuff like that. Okay.
I guess, he became like, they heroed him up after a while,
So I want to see what they do with this chick, because I know the video game, the fans hate her. So I don't know how the show is going to go, if they're going to get people on it also. So I don't know. I have no idea where they're going to go with this one. So that's kind of what got me curious more than anything else, to see how the fans going to respond to this next season. Because this is a bigger swing than I've seen anybody. Basically, we're going to forget about the people we've seen in the first 2 seasons, go to somebody else that we've been trained to hate, and that's going to be main character. So I don't know. We'll see if she has the Negan effect also. So yeah. So
yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it. I liked it. So yeah. Let me say we move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay, like I said, this comic bullies. We're talking about comic books. We're gonna jump into it. Eli, we're already here. No, we're not here. We're not here. I got something to talk about. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay.
I'm jumping the gun. There's something else we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Avengers Doomsday. Reason we're talking about this, because they pushed the date back.
Oh, yeah.
It's no longer coming out. For those that haven't been keeping up with the news, I'm telling you what's going on right now. It's not coming out May next year. It's coming out December next year. So that means after Fantastic Four comes out, you won't get another Marvel movie for 18 months. So Hollywood, you're Marvel free. You can't complain about nothing right now. You're saying Marvel is killing us and sending. You can't blame them right now. You're Marvel free. So it's up to you to figure this shit out. So yeah. So, but that's not. But you know why I think it. Now I don't have any proof on why this backing up, but you know why I think they backing it up, Eli?
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing rumors that they start shooting this movie without a script.
Oh, like how they used to?
Like, how they used to, how James Gunn told them not to do that. Don't do that shit. And they're still doing it. So, yeah. So now I think they find like they bit themselves in the ass. Like maybe we need to slow this machine down a little bit. So yeah, give yourself some time. So yeah. Matter of fact, like when they did Doctor Strange 2, they said Elizabeth Olsen got so many script rewrites, she didn't even know she was a villain anymore. So she's like, fuck it, just go. But
some of them were the old scripts from the TV show from WandaVision.
Yeah, she like, I thought I was teaming up with them. She like, oh, I'm not. Okay. She didn't know what the fuck she was doing. So yeah. All right. But that's not the only thing about it. So see, Doomsday is not the only movie dropping on December 18th, 2026. There's another movie dropping on December 18th, 2026. And that
Star
movie,
Wars.
Nope.
Oh.
Close. Doom.
Oh.
Messiah.
Oh, well, Dune ain't gonna make shit.
But that's the thing. But you're not hyped for it? You're not hyped for like Barbenheimer or no shit like this?
Oh no, I'm down for Dune. I'm just saying people like the general like I don't know. I mean, I know people seem to like the second Dune, but does it have I mean when I think of who is gonna go see what? I think people are probably going to go see the Avengers versus Dune.
Are they? Because remember, this isn't 2019 anymore. People just talk about Marvel to shit on it nowadays.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, so it's not like super hyped for it, But I see what you're saying. People ain't super hyped for Dune either. But at least we shit on Marvel. Dune we just kind of ignore. It's just there. Yeah. So I don't know. Like we can go back and forth between it, but the thing is now you got Barbenheimer, now you got Doomsday if they drop it the same day. Now we already know Dune is going to push their date back. They're not going to go against Avengers. We know they're going to do that shit. Yeah. They be dumb to drop it the same day as Doomsday because we know what movie is going to play. It's not gonna, and the thing about Barbenheimer, I keep going back to Barbenheimer because the thing is those movies dropping on the same day actually boosted the ticket sales of both of those movies. Like Barbenheimer almost did $1 billion, and it's a 3-hour historical drama by Christopher Nolan. There's no reason that movie should do $1 billion. Plus,
yeah. Well, I would say that about Dune, like because if you know I've read Messiah.
Yeah. I think Messiah's gonna be hype if they stick close to the story. I think it's gonna be hype.
Yeah, but it's not as big and bombastic as like the original Dune. Like it's more of a laid back tragedy, I think.
Yeah, but you got some plot twists going on and shit like that. So So I'm curious to see what they. But who knows? I mean, they've changed some things around. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Alia was not in Dune. But she's
movie.
Definitely going to be in Messiah. So, yeah.
She's going to be in the Messiah, yeah, because she's a prominent part of the mythology too. So
let's not spoil it. Let's not spoil it. For the people that are planning to see it, like fuck Doomsday, I want to go see Doom.
Yeah, let's not spoil a 50-year-old book. Yeah,
right. Oh shit. All right, now we can move to the next part of the podcast.
All right.
Okay. Like I said, it's Comic Bullies. We talk about comic books. We're gonna jump into it. Eli, I'm gonna let you go first because you got more books than I do. It's been a rough week for me. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it was light for me. I guess I'll do Incredible Hulk number 25.
Okay.
Philip Kennedy Johnson. This has had its up and downs. It started out really strong, but it does just enough to keep me interested. Very much bringing that horror element, that creature feature element back to the Hulk. Mm-hmm. So what's her name? Alex or whatever. She's this girl who's been running around with Bruce Banner on this journey, and now she has the God skin or whatever. She can turn into like this creepy werewolf monster thing. She stole it from the mother of monsters or whatever. So she's wearing it, and but she can't control it. So she went to, they went to New York to get help from Doctor Strange to help her figure out how to use this magic or whatever. It's basically magic, but Doctor Strange is on Asgard because of that whole Doom, one world under Doom shit, So she had to get help from Clea, but it turns out Clea was being disguised. It was that monster in disguise. So they had a battle, and this called Thor's attention. So Thor showed up, And that's basically where this issue picks up. So this issue is basically a big fight between Hulk and Thor.
Another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Hulk versus Thor. Thor has said, "Oh, I've actually fought the God Skin like back in eons ago."
Right.
So he doesn't trust, and he's like, and the same thing happened when this monster disguised itself as a little girl. so she's like talking, "Hey, no, we're good guys. We're asking for help. I'm wearing this skin. I need to know how to use it," and blah 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 blah. And Thor's like, "Nope, you're not going to fool me with your treachery, young miss," or whatever. So they start fighting, and Hulk steps in, like, leave the girl alone, and then they start fighting, and they're beating the shit out of each other. Thor's thundering and lightning him. Hulk is punching him across the city and shit. And at one point, Thor throws Mjolnir, and Hulk grabs onto it and goes flying with it.
Okay.
I didn't know he could do that.
Did Thor plan it? Well, he did it with Spider-Man. And I'm not talking about just Infinity War. He did it in the comics too. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So,
but he planned to do that.
I guess like he threw Mjolnir, and then Hulk grabbed it because he was fighting. Yeah. They were fighting. So, but at one point, Hulk gets the drop on Thor, and Hulk's right about to fuck him up, and then the girl turns into the monster and saves Thor, like pulls Thor out of the way before Hulk wrecks him. Hulk smashes him and shit. And he's like, "See, I told you we were good guys," and shit. And like, "Okay, you have earned my trust," and shit. So basically, yeah, they need to figure out how to use this skin. That's kind of where it ends, Yeah, I thought this was fun. It was a throw. Yeah, it's Hulk versus Thor again. But this was fun. This was, like I said, they're doing just enough to keep me interested. So I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah.
So did they are Hulk and Thor cool at the end of the book, or
pretty much? Yeah. They're,
okay.
Yeah.
Because I think Thor told everybody he killed him last time, but he didn't. But, yeah.
Well, remember that was it the Donny Cates one where the Hulk versus Thor series? Right. That was a whole arc.
That book, yeah, where Hulk was about to tear apart Yggdrasil or some shit, or yeah.
Yeah, and was it like Odin inside Hulk's mind and shit?
Right, talking to him and shit.
Yeah, and then it turns out was it like Thor never went angry or something? What was that? How'd that work out again? Like we always saw Hulk get angry, right? And but Thor never got angry. Never had berserker range
with gamma shit, so he was like out of control. Yeah.
So it turns out pissed off Thor is way more stronger, I guess.
Right, because Thor is holding restraint while Hulk is always going out. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's how it went.
Cool.
But yeah, I'll give us a 3.5 out of 5.
All right, cool. All right, so where am I? So since you did that book, I'm going to do this book.
Oh, that's right. In this book, yeah. During one of the I'm looking through it here. While they're fighting, Thor basically punches Hulk down to the bottom of the ocean, and then Hulk comes out of the ocean, jumping out of ocean, holding like a sunken submarine.
that's crazy too. Okay,
and then bats Thor. That's what happens. Winter Soldier shows up.
I thought I saw Winter Soldier. I'm like, what? That can't be Bucky, but okay.
Yeah, Winter Soldier shows up. Okay, I'm gonna hunt down the Hulk or whatever, or go talk to the Hulk, and that says Return of the Winter Soldier. That's what's happened. That's right. That happens at the end. Okay. Little epilogue. So
okay, I hope Hulk beats him with his own arm, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That cover looks gnarly though. God damn, that's a gnarly ass cover.
All right, so speaking of Hulk, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna talk about Ultimates number 12. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're still keeping up with the Ultimates. We're 6 months away from the Maker coming back. So yeah. What do we got here? You got this pretty cool ass cover with Iron Man hooked up with all kind of crazy shit and whatever stuff like that.
Oh, that's
So
when he got fucked up or whatever.
Yeah, that's when he got fucked up. So he's better now, but he's still. We'll talk about it. Okay. So anyway, let's get to it. Ultimate number 12. Let's see what's going on over here. And then basically they're saying like this is supposed to be the end of season 1 or whatever, I guess. So whatever that means. All right, so let's go. All right, so the book starts off with, let's get out of here. All right, so we start off with on the helicarrier with the hand helicarrier, the Agents of Hand, and they have arrested Dupe. Damn, ain't nothing happened to Dupe, man. I like Dupe. But anyway, we go to Director Fury. And you know it's out the universe because Rick Fury is white. So he's getting a debriefing from the Ultimates. He like, the Ultimates just had a meeting. They're like, uh-oh, what do they know? He's like, they know about what happened with the Hulk. They're like, uh-oh, they've learned. So basically, ever since that meeting, ever since that thing with the Hulk, they never all meet in the same place ever again. So it's on like half of them here and half of them on like a Zoom call or shit like that. So basically, Nick Fury is getting info on what happened with that meeting. And they were talking about the meeting. And you see a picture of Hulk killing all of the Ultimates. Oh, and his people also, like chopping them in half and shit and all stuff like that. And what we get, that's Tony Stark showing them what's happening. He was like, look, I got this image. Basically, when he got fucked up by the Hulk, they repaired him with that time machine called the Morse engine. So that's just like in his nervous system now. So he can like see through time and shit like that. And he basically he's seeing some shit that didn't happen. So he was like, and everybody else is shocked, like, oh shit, but everybody else, even though they didn't happen, they remember it too. They're like, I thought that was a nightmare. That shit really happened. He was like, well, I'm gonna let Doom tell you what happened. So Doom, you tell him what happened, and yeah, Iron Man gets ripped in half. So this shit. So he was like, you tell him what happened, or I tell him what happened. And Doom don't say shit. He's like, okay, fine, I'll tell him. Okay, so here's the thing. Since I got this time machine in my nervous system, I can see different stuff, and I see 2 timelines happen right there. One timeline where Doom saved us, and one timeline where he didn't. And it's in all of them where he got fucked up. Hawkeye got burned alive. Ant-Man, somebody jumped out his chest. So yeah. So that's what happened. And Doom is basically saying, so what happened? Basically what happened, Doom is saying, yes, Hulk killed you, all of you. What happened was I used a time machine to go back in time and save y'all before he killed y'all. So I altered time to save y'all. Oh, and I'm also trying to break into the Maker's thing to try to kill him and shit like that, but I can't break into it. I try to go back in time to do that, but yeah, Maker fucked them up. So everybody's pissed off at Doom and Tony's pissed off at him because, well, why didn't you save me before Hulk fucked me up? Like, did you not want me to know what happened? Because I'm the only smart to know what you did because you weren't supposed to use that time machine. He was like, look, I did it to save y'all because y'all ain't been doing shit. Obviously, all y'all do is just get fucked up all the time, and I have to use a time machine to save y'all. So don't get mad at me for no shit like that. So everybody's pissed off at Doom doing that shit. They think but basically what they know is that they've seen the future. They know worse shit than the Maker is coming for them. The Celestials are coming. Kang is coming. All this bullshit is coming. And basically they're saying like, look, this shit ain't working. This Ultimate thing you did, it ain't working. We getting fucked up. We need to think of something new. And then everybody looks at Captain America and they're like, well, Captain America, you ain't said shit all day. What do you think? And Captain America said, yeah, I agree with Doom. This shit ain't working. And matter of fact, Tony, that shit where you went back in time and you gave everybody superpowers like that was the dumbest idea ever. Because half the people got killed trying to use their powers. Half of them turned to villains. Half of them we don't know what the fuck going on like that. So yeah, that shit actually didn't work at all. So what we need to do, instead of just me, you, and Doom thinking this shit, we need to have everybody pitch in. Because if we don't do it, we will die. And matter of fact, we got 6 months to figure this shit out. So he basically writes on the board, and instead of he crosses out Ultimates 2.0 and writes Ultimates 3.0. They're like, all right, let's get to work. And that's when that's when Nick Fury just says, damn, so I wish Hulk would have killed their ass. Not you, of course. So obviously he's talking to one of the Ultimates, but we don't know who. And the Ultimate he is talking to is Wasp. Dun, dun, dun. She's a spy. A hand spot. Yeah. She's cutting a deal with Nick Fury for her and Hank Pym. Hank Pym don't know what's going on, but she's cutting a deal. She's like, I'll keep giving you information on what's going on if you cut a deal for us. She was like, don't worry. We appreciate your intelligence information, Was. 6 months remaining. So yeah, so they have a traitor in the group. So yeah. So this is the end of this arc run, whatever like that. I mean, it's still going, but they got other shit coming on, so we'll see what's going on. Oh, also, Hawkeye's getting a book.
The native Hawkeye?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a one-off or a run. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, a book is coming up soon. So yeah.
Oh, well, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, overall, cool. There was a wind down issue because, like I said, Ultimates is a book that will give you like wham bam action all the way through, and then the winding down is one of the wind down books. So 45. It's still cool. It's still one of the better books Marvel has in their roster right now. So yeah. All right. So what you got next?
I got Mothra, Queen of the Monsters, number 3.
Let's do it. Okay.
Okay. So this is so these 2 twin girls, their parents were killed in a monster attack, and then they were separated. Turns out one of the twins was whisked back in time to that prehistoric age and was learned how to like the songs from the little Mothra twins, and she comes back into the present day where her sister's been surviving in this post-apocalyptic wasteland fighting, monsters and shit. And they're like, hey, we're basically twins, and we've been chosen to be the new, caretakers of Mothra, and we need to learn the song, the Mothra song. The song that the twins sang to give, to summon Mothra and stuff. It turns out they have to be in sync with each other. They have to be in unity. They have to have this connection, this sort of perfect bond. And it turns out because they've grown up, separated, they were separated for so long, their connection sucks. So every time they try to sing the song, they end up in different time periods. So they've been basically time traveling all over the place, popping up in different times. They went back in time to steal a Mothra egg, and Mothra hatched as a larva. So they were kind of like babysitting a Mothra larva, and then traveling through time, trying to protect it because they keep ending up in the wrong time and getting attacked by different monsters and stuff. And they're also trying to train it too. Mothra's going to have to eventually grow up and then fight Megaxerus, which is the mosquito or a dragonfly. I told you about this, like another one of Godzilla's villains. So basically, in this issue, Mothra creates her cocoon. That's what Mothra, for those who don't know, Mothra starts out as a larva, as a caterpillar, and eventually, spins a cocoon and sits in the cocoon for a certain amount of time in her chrysalis, transforming, metamorphosizing into a moth, and then would hatch as a moth in her final form, Mothra. While she's in her cocoon, the girls are like, you know what, we should practice our song, and maybe if we make up our own song, because we seem to keep fucking up the older songs, if we make up a new song, maybe we'll be more in sync. So they do. They make up a song to help Mothra grow faster, transform faster. And they sing it, and Mothra hatches, in her final adult form. Like, okay, cool. And now we got to prepare for Megaxerus because he's coming. And that's kind of where it ends. So they did it. They finally got a song right. They had to make one up for them to be connected. So Mothra is now fully grown and ready to throw down. So I'm sure the next issue will have the battle. So yeah, this is cool. This is a lot of fun. I really dig the art. Who's the artist on this again? Matt Frank and Sophie Campbell. Okay, story by Sophie Campbell, and she's also one of the artists. So really cool cartoony artwork. I really dig it. And Mothra's fun. I have a soft spot for Mothra. So kind of the opposite of Godzilla. Godzilla's all about destruction, and Mothra's all about life and rebirth.
Gotcha.
So
Peace,
yeah, 4 out
love,
of
and
5.
soul grease. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else we got or?
No, I'm booked out.
Nope.
What else did I read? I read that Thing book. I thought was
Okay.
and then I read something else that I can't remember now.
You know what? I thought this was gonna be like a super long show with all kind of stuff going on like that, but actually it's not.
Oh, that Robo Wolf. Is that what it's called? Robo Wolf. It was like a throwback to 80s like dumb trauma shit. There's like a robot wolf robbing banks because his daughter was kidnapped by some ninja gangster or something. It's like really kind of dumb. I mean, it's fun, but it's like kind of like whatever. I don't think I'm gonna stick with it though. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I don't know.
That's it.
All right. Yeah, that's all I got. I thought it was gonna be like a super long show, but it turns out it wasn't a super long show. We kind of like got in.
I thought you were gonna read that Superman book or whatever.
Well, I feel like I already read it. Okay, reason I'm saying that because remember we were talking about that
free comic book day, right?
that free comic book day.
Mm-hmm.
Most of this shit was that, and then I kind of already got spoiled with it. Like he gets like a gold form or some shit. Now, like I don't feel like reading this shit. I'm good on that. So, all right. So, yeah. That being said, if you listen this long, definitely like, subscribe. Oh, also have some good news. I've been sitting on that giant size X-Men review for like about a month now. I'm gonna drop it today.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the excerpt or whatever.
Yeah, that whole X-Men review. We talk about Giant Size. The reason I'm doing it because this week is the 50th anniversary of Giant Size X-Men. This when it dropped. So Marvel's gonna be like this whole big thing. So Eli, I'm trying to get us to synchronize.
Trying to get trending. I'd be a trending topic.
Yeah, trying to ride that wave, because I feel like if I dropped it earlier, it wouldn't be. But now I feel like the engagement's going to pick up, so maybe we'll hit a little bit harder. Then
yeah, timing is everything. Yeah.
Timing is everything. It may not work. We're gonna see. That's why I was waiting to sit on it right now. But yeah, if you want to check out that review, check it out. Eli has like a 10-minute rant on Thunderbird. I left in there.
I did it? Did I go that long?
Yeah, you went that long. You went. I let the whole thing, and I was like, fuck it. and I threw graphs and shit up there. So yeah. But yeah, y'all be excited for that. Happy Memorial Day also for everybody going out and getting some barbecue stuff like that. So yeah.
And fuck Top Gun. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go again with Top Gun. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Days of Thunder then? You hate that too?
Never forget. Oh, Days of Thunder was cool.
Okay. I'm trying to see your level of Tom Cruise hating this, but okay. All right. All right. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.